good morning, and welcome back to the Brandon Nation Show. We have an interesting topic today. Obviously, we're talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So before we get into that, everyone should understand that this is truly unbiased, and you should not get your feelings hurt. I'm going to give you the honest, passion, thought for our families, our children, for people watching. And I hope all of you had a great night last night as I prepared for this. I got up and I said, man, I talk sports every day. I talk, sports and entertainment, but this is part of entertainment. It's part of our life and culture and our political world. And I think it's kind of important, all the things happening. I know the eclipse happened. People kind of went nuts. Like, what's going to happen with the eclipse? Are people going to act crazy? Should I go get toilet paper? Should I get paper towels? Should I get all these things, which I think is a little bit obnoxious, but that's the truth and that's what happens. But long story short, let's get right into part of our show today. And remember, do not get your feelings hurt, and comment in the chat what you truly believe. Let's not get crazy with people on Trump and Biden, but let's have a good conversation. And let's get right into it, because a political debate and conversation has to come up somewhere. And I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't get on here and at least mention the topic. So getting started right away, let's just move forward into part of the conversation. And that is right now, who is the healthier president? Who's the guy that you want to see up there? Who can make it through 4 years, all the aggravation? You got to get up there. You got to travel. Even for the debates, you're traveling state to state. Some of these presidents are traveling country to country, doing different things, political advocates during the war. You got to get up there. You have to choose your vice president. You have so many things that are going on in your entire office. Elect who's the healthier person, right? Like, one thing I want to talk about is, I'm not going to get up here and say Trump, Biden. I'm not going to announce all that right now until the end. But what I'm going to say is this. This is just the truth and the facts of what's going on. These are the people right now that they had last time, right? Like, this is the person they had as a vice president. And people were like, will Joe Biden make it through? Who will be the president? Can he continue to be the president? Like, that was part of the conversation. And people were worried about, because if you elect Joe Biden, then that's who you want to be in, and not Kamala Harris, right? You want Joe Biden to be there. The safety and health of people is important, right? So we're looking at Joe Biden. If he's not there, then you're going to have Kamala Harris in office. This was last time. This was his vice president before, right? So now you're looking at it going, who is going to be the safe choice? Who's the person that you elect? Will they actually be there? And that's a problem that I think that we all have and we're all talking about right now. Now, before we move into the next part of the conversation, what I want to say is this. Whether you liked Mike Pence or didn't like Mike Pence or thought Mike Pence was great, you actually had someone in there that, was healthy, and Trump was healthy as well. So if you speak in that conversation, just that context alone, just from being healthy, I want to know what you guys think in the chat right now. Who's healthier, Trump or Biden? Will Biden be able to last 4 years if he's elected? Will Trump be able to last 4 years? Who's the person? Who's the tougher guy? Who's going to get in there and get things done? Who's going to travel? Who's going to show up? Who's going to put it on his back? I think that's super, super important for people that are watching this right now. Like, how do you really feel about both of their health and well-being, to be the person to advocate, to go out there and protect our nation, to go out and speak and just be more supportive for us? Like, that's so, so important. And as you looked at the whole thing, people are like, well, if Joe Biden's not there, then Kamala Harris will be in. But people didn't vote for Kamala Harris to be their president. She was the vice president, right? So coming into this, I think, without jumping, putting the cart before the horse, I think that could be a conversation people should think about. Will Joe Biden be able to last 4 years? Will be able to travel around and be that person? Obviously, he's had some health issues, some health risks. And will Trump be able to do that? Do you think Trump is strong enough to get out there, have his vice president travel around and do what he's got to do and go all over the world and be able to put the country on his back and make the best decisions? Do you think, which one of them do you think is actually healthier? Which one will be able to make it the 4-year term with the strength and the opportunities, right? I think that's so important in conversation. Now, which candidate is best for our economy? And if we go back in time, we look at when Trump was in office, what the economy was, and without giving my take just yet, we look at the economy. How was it with Trump? How is it now? Right? These are conversations we got to put out there. How is the economy when Trump was in office? I'm talking gas. I'm talking taxes. I'm talking everything under the sun. I'm talking getting out there, starting a business. I'm talking everything. How was it when Trump was in office, right? And then how is it now? Biden's in office. So what you have to think about, what are you actually voting for? Are you voting for someone because you like them? Are you voting for someone because you don't like them? Are you voting for someone because you think they're a powerhouse person? Are they a political advocate? Are they a businessman? We'll get to that in a second. What do you think is the most important part of the election, right? We have a lot going on coming up right now, so people have to think about these things. It's not just, well, I don't like Trump because he said this, or I don't like Biden because he did that. You got to think about this stuff. Who's healthier? Who's going to be able to be there to protect your nation? And then also, which candidate is better for our economy? Like these two in office, you got to think these are two of the people in the entire world that we've selected, right, to get to where they are right now. And we've selected from years ago. They've been there now for a long time. Joe Biden's been inside of the office working with politics for what? For 100 years? Like he's been there forever. And then Trump gets in there and he's making things happen. I want to know truly and honestly in the chat right now, you can put in there, no hard feelings, Trump or Biden, who you're voting for, it's okay. We're not going to backlash you. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of what president. I'm not going out there saying this guy's an asshole or this guy's a bad person and we shouldn't vote for that. What I'm saying is, how do you feel about the economy when Trump was in there? Were you starting businesses? Did you have more money in your pocket? Were taxes lower? Was gas lower? Like these are the things you got to think about in your head. Like I know a loaf of bread right now going out to Publix was like, oh, drop in the bucket. Now you get a loaf of bread, you get some milk and you walk out and you're like, how did I spend all this money? Like I went there with $10 just to get a loaf of bread and some cheese or something. And you leave, you're like, with taxes, I'm like, I got to go back to the ATM. Like this is kind of crazy, right? And I'm not trying to put in a position, make people go, oh yeah, like, this is something outlandish and crazy. I'm just saying in general, for me, going to the grocery store alone, you leave Publix, it's nothing to spend $300-$400 at Publix. It's nothing to spend $300-$500 at Target or Walmart. And you go home and you start looking at your groceries and you're like, what the hell did I just get? Like my grocery, I'm looking at my receipt and I'm going, $300, like, and then if you go to Costco and you get, for like $50, you get like 7 cartons of eggs. Like you don't need that much all the time, right? Like, you just want to go to Publix, drop in your local store, whatever you got near you, Stop and Shop, Walmart, Publix, Costco, whatever you shop at, right? Which candidate right here is better for the economy? And I don't want to drill into all these things, like political people get up there and they start naming all this stuff like drilling for oil and traveling and electric and, obviously with the global warming, like I'm not going to all that. I'm just talking about you as an individual. We're not talking to all these political people in the room. We're talking to the people right now in the chat, people watching the live, people that will watch this live after the show as it uploads. How do you feel about your personal pocket? How do you feel about when you work long, hard days and you look in your bank account and you check your taxes, or when you drive to work and you put gas in your car and then you come home, you're like, I got to fill up again. God forbid, that gas station is like the devil. Like you go near the gas station, you start sweating because you're like, I got several cars. And when I look at my truck, I got a Ram truck. I pull up to the gas station. I put that thing in there. I'm like, I'm going to see it I might as well get a book and start reading. It's going to take, $100 in gas. I drive 4 or 5 days to the office. I come back. I got no gas. So I'm just saying, then you go to the electric car. Then you're driving a Tesla, right? And that whole thing. Everybody's moving to Tesla because you want to save. Why are we doing that? Because the economy right now is not that good. Why? Because there's some issues. So I'm just saying, who's better for the economy? I want you guys to think about that. Think about it long and hard and put in the chat right now who you got, Trump or Biden. No hard feelings. Put who you want in the chat. Let's move on to the next topic conversation. Who's the better businessman? I separated there. Now, businessman together. Businessman. Who's the better businessman? Right? I look at these two people. Who's running companies? Right? Like who's out there being able to make deals with China, make deals with Russia, make deals in different places? Who's the person that you respect to get the business done? Right? Like I'm not sitting here telling you who I'm picking right now. That's at the end. But what I'm telling you right now, who do you think is going to go out there and get the business done? Literally, like deal for deal. This for that, tit for tat. Like I'm going to get USA on the map. We want to win the election. We want to get out there. We want to not destroy other countries in a war. I'm talking destroy other countries because we're so damn good business-wise. We're so damn good mentally, physically. We're so damn good in sports. The USA is so damn good in sports. We'll get to in a second with people. I think there's a lot of conversation we just got to have right now. And in the chat, the like button. And make sure you subscribe. This is so important for our nation, our people. Yeah, I talk sports every day. And people are like, man, he's talking about political stuff right now. Yeah, I didn't want to go into the whole Biden-Trump thing, but this is the truth of our life right now. Like, this is these next couple, years, or I should say months realistically, but the next couple years, USA could look a lot different with the wrong decision here. Like, it could look a lot different. So when you guys think in the chat right now, Trump or Biden, don't be scared to put it in there and communicate with people in there. And you can talk about why you're picking them. Like, why is it so important, right? Like, no hard feelings. Just forget anything. These two people are just people. Right? They're just candidates up there. These aren't some robots. Why do you want this person? Let's put it in easier terms. Like, here's a teacher, here's a teacher. Why do you want this teacher? Well, like this teacher because they speak to my kids better. They're a little bit slower speaking maybe. Or maybe they're bilingual. Maybe they're not bilingual. Maybe their accent's hard to understand. Like, all these things are important. Put your personal feelings aside, and let's just say the truth of the matter, Trump or Biden, right? I think it's an interesting conversation. Who's better as a businessman? Moving forward here, which president do you feel safer with? Like, right now, we already know what's going on. Like, our country right now is up in arms. There's wars going around the world. Wars, obviously, with Russia and Ukraine has been going on for a long time. And obviously, the U.S. is helping out tremendously, sending billions of dollars over there, helping out, funding the whole situation. Now we have other wars going on, Israel, all these things, Hamas, all these things are happening, sending more money out there. Who do you feel safer in the USA? Like, let's give a round of applause for the USA for a second, right? Like, United States of America. Like, who do you feel safer in your house as your president, right? A lot of people say, well, Biden, nicer guy going over there, communicating with people, but Trump, a little bit, they'll say he's a bully, but who do you want to support you? Like, who's the protect factor? Like, realistically in the chat right now, don't be scared. Who's going to protect our country? Is Joe Biden going to protect our country? Right? Like, that's a conversation I want to know. Is Joe Biden on the left-hand side of the screen right now coming up? Is he going to protect you? Or is Donald Trump going to protect you? And I'm talking protect you, protect our nation, protect our country. I'm not just talking about, hey, he's the president, so he's walking around with his, his FBI. He's walking around with his, protecting bodyguards and that security. I'm talking about protect you. You're in your house. How do you feel right now? How did you feel a couple years ago with Trump in office? And how do you feel right now? Like, that's the conversation. I'm not up here saying I'm picking this guy or picking this guy. What I'm saying is, how do you personally feel right now? Like, that's what this conversation is about. When you're thinking about it right now, how do you feel protected as a nation? How do your kids feel going to school? How do you feel on the news? You put the media on, you see all this shit going on. How do you feel now versus how you felt with Trump in office, right? Because these are things you got to think about. Heading right now into the election, right? You better pick the person that you feel safer with. It's so important. I don't give a shit if he likes you or not. Like, you personally doesn't matter. What matters is the country, the nation, how he protects our country when they go out. The Olympics is great, right? During the Olympics, everyone's rocking and rolling, right? I talk about this during sports, why this is important. You can have an all-time war going on, and you're watching the Olympics, you're watching track and field, you're like, everybody's doing just fine. You got a guy running from Russia, got a guy running from USA, got a guy running from here, a guy running from India, got a guy running from Jamaica, all over the world, and there's no problems. Like, you're watching the Olympics, you're like, there's absolutely no problems. And all of a sudden, the Olympics is over. Oh shit, people at war, right? Things are happening. Who do you feel safer with? Right? Like, I got it up here right now for you guys to take a look, put it in the chat. Who do you feel safer with? And yeah, in the chat right now, Timothy Taylor said the borders. And we got to talk about that too. The borders. Like, how do you feel about the borders right now? People just running in the damn country. Like, legit, just showing up. Running from Mexico, just passing right on through, right? Just, how you doing? Just in herds of people, dropping them off at different locations. I have friends and family literally around the country. I have people up north in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all the way down to Florida, people on the West Coast. I have friends living all over the world. And everyone's like, whoa, we're at risk. No shit, we're at risk because the borders are wide open. Why do you feel that way? I haven't mentioned yet my candidate. I haven't mentioned anything. I'm asking you, why do you feel that way? How do you feel about the border right now? And then we're talking, when Trump was in office, how did you feel? How do you feel with Biden in office? Right? That's what you got to do. It's like you're watching a football game, you got a quarterback in. Tom Brady's in. How do you feel about Tom Brady? How do you feel about Mac Jones? Like, you got to have a real feeling. It isn't about what I'm saying right now. It's how you feel. And how you feel should be why you vote for who you vote for. right? Like, it doesn't even matter about, my actual words. It's how do you feel sitting on your couch right now? Oh, I feel really good right now. Then good job. Vote for Biden. If you don't feel good right now and you feel like the country is screwed up economy-wise, if you feel like the taxes are too high, if you feel like the gas prices are too high, if you feel like you're not safe in this country right now, if you feel like our borders are open right now, if you feel like we got a lot of insecurity issues and things are not looking right, and you don't feel like we're the strong USA we once were before, then you got to vote for Donald Trump, because back in the day, it didn't feel like that. And I'm just saying, this is just how you personally feel. Right? And again, round of applause for our USA country again, because USA is the best country in the world, and it should continue to be the best country in the world. And yeah, I talk sports every single day, but this is important to let you guys know how I truly feel. And I'm going to get to my candidate in a second, but let's move on to the next topic conversation right here as we move forward. Biggest concerns with each candidate. I'm going to break this down for you guys to understand. A lot of people, right? A lot of people, and they look at these candidates and they always have something to say. I'm going to go into this right now. It's a big conversation about our presidents and what they feel and what they're saying. And here's what the biggest concerns are. And I want to break this down for people to understand without everybody getting all in their panties in a bunch. If you're in here right now for the first time, hit the like button, subscribe, put who your candidate is, Trump or Biden. And we're not throwing shade, we're throwing love and support so people can understand what the hell's going on so we can be on the same page here. Right? So here's what I got to say. The biggest concerns, and let's just start with Donald Trump, because everybody, Donald Trump, there's a lot of hate going different ways, and talking about Biden, there's hate going certain ways. So let's just talk about Trump for one quick second. So being mixed race, I can say this because I don't give a shit, because I'm white, black, I can say what the hell I want to say. Black, white, black, whatever you want to call it. I'm mixed. I can say whatever the hell I want. And people could say, this is racist. It's not. I don't give a shit because I'm both, so therefore I'm not. At the end of the day, a lot of people will say Trump is racist. Or a lot of people will say, Trump did this. I don't support Trump for that, or with the arrest situation. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Does it really freaking matter? He doesn't even know who you are. Like, Joe Biden doesn't know who you are either. And quite frankly, I don't really give a damn. Because I don't really need to know him. What I care about is our president getting there and getting the job done, protecting our nation, making sure things are happening. And I'm not saying you should sit back and go, yeah, my president's racist, so that's okay. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that he is. What I'm saying is that's not the sole focus of the election. And people that are watching this for the first time, do not vote or not vote because you think something from back in the day or something. That doesn't matter. What matters right now is who is going to protect our nation. How do we feel about the USA when you're sitting at home, when you're going to the grocery store, when you're driving around, going to see your friends and family, when there's wars going on? How do you feel? How safe are you? How comfortable you are right now? That's what's most important. What's coming home in your check when you go to work and you show up, because neither of these two candidates know who you are. So let me break that down really quick. It really doesn't matter. And if you talk about racism, do you think that Joe Biden likes you? Do you think he knows who you are? Do you think he cares about white and black? Do you think he really gives a damn about any of that? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say that they don't like people. I'm just saying they don't know who the hell you are. In the chat right now, put Trump or Biden if you're first time in here, and comment on what we're talking about right now, right? Because then you got, here, let me pull this up right now, because then you got this, right? Trump was not a fan of Colin Kaepernick kneeling on the field. A lot of people were not fans of Colin Kaepernick kneeling on the field. Why? Because there's a football game, right? Like, I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick didn't want to prove something. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be able to voice his opinion. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be out there and try to advocate for people like him. I'm not saying that he shouldn't rally his troops and get people together. I'm not saying that whatsoever. He should do that. But during the football game, during the national anthem, this is the time where you're paid to play football. And this is the time where America is paying to watch football. And this is why people started boycotting football, and why Trump in this position, I have to say, is right. Because if you want to do that, it's wonderful. But do that on your own time. During the football game, all you did was tarnish the NFL. And that's why Colin Kaepernick isn't playing today. If he didn't do that, he might have had a lot of other chances. Right? And I'm breaking this down to just as truth in the matter. If I was playing football right now and I started doing that, if I went to work tomorrow, forget football. If I went to work tomorrow and I was kneeling on, out front in front of the office, and people are coming and I'm kneeling and I'm doing something, I'm just causing a lot of, drama realistically. Not saying you're not doing it for a good cause or for you. I'm just saying you're causing a lot of drama. And even if it's right, that's fine. But your employer is not going to be like, oh, that's great. Like, yeah, we should do that every morning. Like, the employer is not going to like that. And who's your employer? The NFL, right? So the NFL, obviously, they're trying to, Let's avoid racism. Let's end racism. They put it on the end zone. That's wonderful. Put it on the field. They should do that because there should be no racism. It's 2024. So with all respect to that, I agree 1,000%. What I don't agree with is how all of a sudden they say, man, Trump's a bad person because he was against Colin Kaepernick doing that. And then obviously you got Joe Biden and what he does, him, Hillary Clinton for years and years and years. What they did was they went out and they would have concerts with Jay-Z and Beyonce and all this kind of stuff to start. Do you think they give a damn about Jay-Z and Beyonce before the election? I mean, let's just be real here. And even if Trump was doing it, you think he gives a damn about them? It's the election time. It's time to get everybody involved to vote for me. So I'm just saying all of a sudden, all these people are coming across our country and obviously all the Mexicans, and I'm saying Mexicans, I'm not saying it that way. I'm saying Mexicans, whatever country you could be. If we go over there, we're Americans in Mexico. So there are Mexicans coming over. You got all different kind of Spanish people coming over. You got people from other countries. You got people like Iraq. You got people from Iran. You got people from all over the world coming into the country, and people don't feel safe. So at the end of the day, we're talking about the biggest concerns right now. The biggest concern for Trump is people said he was racist. Then they said, oh, is he going to be in jail? Well, it doesn't really look like it because if he gets in and gets elected, then he's not going. But if he doesn't get elected, right, either A, it's going to be under the rug or they're going to keep chasing and prolonging this whole issue over and over and over again. So all I'm saying is right now, while I'm watching the situation and I'm looking at it going, the biggest concerns for Trump really is just people that think that he's racist and people that say, oh, is he going to be a bully? He's going to go out there. He's going to cause any problems. He probably wants to get in there and say, well, shit, let's protect this country. That's what I hope that he does. That's all I'm saying. And then you get to Biden. What are the biggest concerns for Biden? Like, what concerns you about Biden, right? Like, how long will he be in office? That's a concern. Like every time I think about it, we went over Trump's concern, so we're not hating on anybody. You get to Joe Biden, he's getting older. Everybody's confused when he talks. Let's be honest. When he gets up there and starts talking, people are confused after a while. And then when he leaves the stage, he's confused on where he's going. That's a problem, right? And then just in general, how do you feel? Are you safe or not? We went through that. Are you safe? And then after that, the economy, like all of these things are kind of important right now. First time in the chat, the like button, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Put Trump or Biden in the chat. I want to know how you guys truly feel during this whole situation, right? These are big time concerns. These are big time concerns, and we have to address them properly. Again, haven't selected the candidate. I'm just telling you the realistic concerns from people, how they feel, the minorities, how they feel about Trump. Oh, well, he's racist. Well, do you think Biden likes you either? Like, they don't really give a damn. They're trying to run for election, trying to run president, run the country, like talking about drilling for oil and all kinds of other global warming. Do you think they care about how you're doing? Like, no one really cares about it. They care about the USA. Let's keep the country moving and generating, keep on building and financial institutions and all this kind of stuff. Now, who will win the election? Right? Like, that's where we are right now. And that's part of the conversation. Who will win the election? And here's the fight we're talking about, right? Like, here's the presidential fight, the debate, the two, Joe Biden on the left, Donald Trump on the right, in the blue corner, in the red corner. Like, who do we got, right? And so here's what I want to say. And I think people kind of understand this. If Joe Biden gets in office, it will be like it is right now. Okay? Or worse, or better. But it will be like it is right now. Like, you've seen how he got in. You've seen exactly where the country went. Whether you think it went up or it went down, I know how I feel because I know how I felt before and now I feel down. So forget all the other shit. You got to think about how you feel right now about our country. And when I'm watching Joe Biden and I'm looking at that, I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. So what I'm going to say is this. I'm going to pick my candidate now, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm picking Donald Trump, and I think Donald Trump's going to win the election. Why is he going to win the election? Because people are not safe right now. That is number one. First and foremost, how much money we got, that's important, but it's not number one. Number one is health and safety. Will Biden be healthy in there? One. And two, will we be safe out here? When I say out here, I'm saying he's in the office, we're outside the office, and we want to live our lives happy and safe. So why I'm picking Donald Trump to win is because I truly think that with our country, him being in office, yeah, I got to tell you, there could be a war. Like, there really could be a war, regardless. If Trump gets in, he's going to go back and say, look, this shit's not happening anymore. So bullshit, we're ending that right now. That could cause a war. I'm not saying it can't, but what's happening right now could cause a war too. Because we're sitting back and people are like, oh, is the USA really tough? Are they not tough? And again, round of applause for the USA because we need that, right? So this isn't getting up here trying to build a political TV show, a political sports show. What I'm saying is just truth of the matter. Get up on here and let this go through YouTube and go through the algorithm. Let people check this out because we need to decide who our president's going to be. And right now, we're not safe. We're not happy. Economy is not good. We don't think there's any good business going on. Our borders are wide open. People are not excited to wake up and go to work. You can't get a loaf of bread without going there and using a credit card. So people are upset right now. So the only way to fix that is get someone else in office. And that someone else is going to have to be Republican or a Democrat. And it looks like right now it's going to be Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump doesn't get in office, right? If he doesn't get in office, he's going to continue facing these issues. Obviously, they're going after him crazy. I have never seen in my life someone, and I mean this wholeheartedly, this isn't because of my selection, this isn't because who I think is going to win the office, it's not who, because I love all Republicans, or this has nothing to do with that. Have you seen anybody in your entire life defend himself as much as Donald Trump? Have you ever seen someone in your entire life show up and go, I'm putting the shit on my back, bullseye on me? Because when I see Donald Trump walking around, I'm just telling you, he gives off a demeanor. It's proud to be an American. That whole song, he got the flag waving. He walks in there. He goes, we are the best nation in the world. Like, that's how I feel. And I welcome great people into our nation. But we are the best country in the world. So who do you want that's supporting you? Who do you want that's in front of you pushing people back? Do you think Joe Biden's going to walk up there and be like, yo, like bring it on? Do you think that's going to happen? Like, that's what I want you guys to hear right now. I want you guys to hear that. Do you think that? And right now, while I'm in here during the live, if you guys are on a live stream, I'm going to put it right here. And if you guys are still in here, don't forget to vote on this. I'm putting Trump or Biden. Boom. And you can actually vote right now so we can have it. Bang. There you go. Put it on there right now. I forgot to do that early on. Please do that right now. If you're still in there, hit the like button, subscribe, hit Trump or Biden. I got it in there for the polls. But all I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, one candidate's going to be selected. And all I got to tell you is I want to be safe, happy, and I want to have a little more money in my pocket to do more things. And right now, I just don't feel that damn good. And so here's the battle right here. Put in there who you got, Trump or Biden. Be excited about it. It looks like it's going to be good. And we have a lot of conversation and topics to go over. And also, we even have things like with Diddy and what's going on with that. Jay-Z and Beyonce, all this kind of stuff is going on. And that's who Biden had out there for the support system, singing and drawing all this crowd. So all I'm saying is I'm selecting my president based upon what I see. Not because I'm just like, oh, I like this person because he's a nice person. I don't care if he's nice to me. I care about our country, the USA. And as we get off right now, one more time, round of applause for the USA. I thank all of you guys for joining me today for the live to go over this presidential election. The debate's going to happen. Trump or Biden, looking forward to it. I gave you my honest and fair opinion. And I will see you guys tomorrow bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now we do all live play-by-plays. Don't forget that live play-by-plays, all the games happening. So if you see us going live later in the day, it's because we got a game coming on. We're doing it live play-by-play. I look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon as we have more guests coming on the show. Until next time.